Hi, my name is Jackie Murray, and I'll be helping you through these 32 weeks of the first grade technology curriculum. We'll go lesson by lesson, and I'll explain how each lesson unpacks. I'll help you with any of the skills that you need. You can reach me very easily through the curriculum companion. Leave a question for me, and then I'll answer that for you on the discussion tab. Let me show you that since we're on the subject. So over here. So here's our wiki, and this is where you're going to find all your videos. This one, when it's completed, will be on this stream right here. The fifth edition stream is filled out. You've got all 34 of them, 32 weeks plus a few extras. This one will fill out throughout the year. If you have a question, though, go to this discussion tab and leave your topic and your question here where everyone can benefit from reading it, and maybe they have the same question, so you can address it. And then they'll read the question and you've addressed it for them. Okay, so let me slowly, well, actually quickly, go through. The black writing is the teacher manual. The red writing is the student manual. You should have both of those available so you can see, but you're going to see that they're pretty similar. You're not going to find a lot of surprises, but the student manual will have some diagrams that yours doesn't have because students need them, you don't. So it's good for you to be aware of that. This shows you what is in each lesson. It's a lot of material, but it's confusing at first, but eventually you'll see that everything you really need to run this lesson is right here on half a page. Makes it very simple. The vocabulary, the problem solving you should expect out of students, the skills, their new school skills and scaffolded skills are right here. The standards you're going to address, how you can extend this to different academic topics, essential question and big idea, assessment strategies, and I won't go through them all, but they're all here. Plus, at the end of the lesson, you'll find the exit ticket and how to differentiate it for different student needs. You have 2 curriculum maps in each grade level curriculum, and this one covers K through 8, so you can see the big picture. Here are all the topics covered in K through 8 and how they're woven through eighth grade, 9 grade levels right here. Then this one is for just your particular grade. So first grade, the topics to be covered, and then each week, that's of the curriculum. So you can see what's covered, not each lesson, not 32, but just each month. So 1 through 4 and 5 through 8, each month is covered there. And you can see where a topic comes up, like classroom management tools, but then it's not really revisited again. And critical thinking, a lot more. Then you get to something like problem solving that's covered every single week, every single month. Then we have a lot of good stuff. You should read all of this, but I'm not going to take the time to go through it. If you look at it and you have questions, they'll come back and ask me. These are symbols you'll find in the lessons. This one tells you there's a video for students to watch. This one is a collaboration opportunity for students to work together. This is an article you might want to read on giving you more pedagogy on a particular topic being used or discussed in the lesson. Posters to put in your classroom, and annotation opportunities for students. So if you're in your teacher manual, and you'll know right away there's something in the student workbook that students could annotate there and then save it for future or print it out or just share it out with you. Typical lesson, all the lessons here. Then you've got general topics, all the articles, lots and lots of figures, and table of assessments, all the assessments you'll cover. These are more formal assessments. The ones in each lesson, though, are there for you also. Okay, then your scope and sequence showing from kindergarten through 6th grade, because we do a separate one for middle school. And it shows what's covered when, all the topics, and based on ISTE standard. And I'm going to zip through this really quickly. It's pretty long. Now we get to lesson 1. Okay, this again, we're in the teacher manual. So this is what yours would look like. You think of lesson 1 as an opportunity to get the students back into the classroom, see what your classroom looks like. Maybe they're new to you. And then remind them that they learned a year's worth of material last year. That's an overarching idea of what you're going to accomplish in lesson one. Here's vocabulary you'll use. A lot of the students are already used to. So you use the words and then look around and see if anyone's confused. Pause, help them understand it. But expect them to use these also. Problems that might come up in this class, and they're all tech problems. Why do we need rules? That's a good overarching question. Why can't I eat at the computer? I can at home. Those types of questions. So be ready for them if they come up, or even prod them to bring them up. These are new skills they'll cover. These are some that were scaffolded from last year. So expect them to know these. Remind them that they do know these. And then these are new ones. Essential question and big idea. How do I use the computer? Students develop an awareness of computer components, fundamental hardware issues, and basic computer operations. That's your goal of this lesson. Very general. You just want them to start understanding that technology it has parts, and it has operations that are consistent throughout. Your assessment strategies left the room as I found it. You'll find this in every single one. However they find the room, they should leave it in just as good order. They should always use their higher order thinking and their habits of mind. So you'll find these three in every single lesson. And then the ones closer to the top will be more specific to the class material being covered. Transferred knowledge from kindergarten. That will change to transferred knowledge from previous lessons. You always want them being aware that I learned something, now I'm going to use it. So, but start with just a general overview. Discuss technology, your expectations for their time, the 21st century class, how technology fits in with other lesson plans, their goals. A fun project is to draw a digital student on your class screen and then have them fill in these pieces. What digital stuff do you use? And have them start telling you what those are. The iPad, Nintendo, computer. I hope they're not using social media by this age, but they might talk about their siblings who do. The cloud. Ask them what they use and then draw that around your digital student and then put it on your wall in your classroom. Take a tour of the classroom. You want them to feel vested in this room. You want them to own it. So get them comfortable. There are no parts in the classroom they can't go to. So point that out. And when you get to posters on the wall, such as these, some of them will be familiar to them, some won't. If you get to one they're familiar with, ask them, well, you remember this from last year, what's it mean? Then you're going to collect rules. So you're going to all gather, sit down on the floor, and have a big paper up on the wall and collect the rules that they see for how tech class would run best, and write them on there. These are two general rules. You might like them, you might not need them, but they'll give you some starting points. If you like some of these and they're not mentioned by students, feel free to kind of poke them and get them thinking along those lines, so that you get all the rules that must be up there, as well as they'll come up with some other ones, surprisingly. And then discuss digital citizenship, because every time they use digital devices, they have to do it the right way. Every time they go on the internet, they have to be good digital citizens. So that starts today, because they're going to go on the internet start page. So you're going to discuss what does that mean, and remember it from last year. Just have that conversation. What did you do last year? That remind us all. Discuss it as a class. Then when they sit at the computer, this is what you expect of them. Now you might get this the first class, because it's the same expectations you had last year, but you might not. So I would say within a couple classes, they should start sitting down like this every time they're at the computer. Share this out with other teachers and parents. This is how they're expected to sit at the computer to get the most out of their computer. Open the internet start page. So you have, let me see if I can bring mine up. Mine looks like this. And this is our internet start page, and you'll have one. So you'll put it on the bar, and it's off my screen, but it's at the top, you know, the shortcut bar at the top of the browser. So put it up there or on your desktop as a link on your desktop that students can get to it really easily. Let parents know this is a safe place for students to go to find links and websites that are safe and appropriate for them to use. The parents could happily leave them here and not worry about them. So over here, I put the links we're going to use in the classroom. And then over here, I put links that if they get class material done, they're allowed to go to whichever box of links over here. I say, okay, you're allowed to go to the fairy tales. Pick any of the fairy tale links or pick any of the mouse skill links. And that's how they know which ones are safe to go to. And that usually gets them through the rest of class. Put a to-do list. You can put the digital clock, a calendar, whatever else you want on here that fits for your students. Okay. You can take notes here with your annotation device for your tool. And then after this is just a lot of articles and the articles are in red. So you'll see topic article and they're all in red. So you'll see there are quite a few. They get less so don't worry that you're getting buried in articles. They get less so as the weeks go on because these are very introductory to get you started. Which you want an internet start page, but which is the best one to do? And tech best practices for new teachers. Maybe you don't even need that. 9 mistakes. Well, nice to glance at that and see what else it is. And then there's some more over here in red. So let's see what the student workbook has. And theirs is, we'll go through this quickly. You can see this is still kind of complicated. But this is in first grade, it's geared more for whoever the adult helping the student is, their parent at home or the librarian or someone else. So, but they can read these, and if they are looking for a problem, they can look here and see the problem and the answer. Sometimes the answer's there, sometimes it isn't. They can look here and see their to-do list, which is a really good one to point out to them. This is what they're expected to do in class. This is their goal of the class, their essential question. And then they can see their class warm-up and their exit ticket. So if they get done early, they can go down here to the end of the lesson and see, okay, that's my exit ticket. They also have curriculum maps, so they can keep track of stuff. They also have the icons to remind them. And they also have the links. They have, okay, now their lesson is pretty much like yours, but you can see it, little differences, hopefully geared more for them, a little more visual. They'll see they're going to get to draw a student. They can use their digital annotation tool. Now, first grade, they may not use these, but if you happen to already have shown students annotation devices for PDFs, this is a great spot to put it because they can just write that stuff in here in the margins. We actually do that in the later grades. Okay, they could do the same with their computer lab rules. Right now, you're going to sit on the ground and do it like we discussed, but if they know how to annotate, they could mark it right in here, and then they can tell you, like this one is. Then they, if they get done early, they have links they can go to, and these are all links. These are also links. So for the visual learner, for the one who just wants to read those, and their posture, same thing you have. And then they have a spot for notes. And that's really about it. So let me know if you have any questions. Go to our wiki and add a topic to the discussion board, and I'd be really happy to help you with it. All right, guys. Talk to you soon, and have a great week.